What's happening, guys? My name is Anthony, and in today's video we're going to be doing another My Team career mode video. So as you guys can see, we've got a lot happening in the lead up to my home Grand Prix, but we're just going to talk over some of the stuff that we need to do quickly, and then we'll get into the actual qualifying and racing, which I know you guys are looking forward to. So if you do enjoy this video, make sure to give it a like at any given point of the video, and let's get straight into it. So as you can see, we've actually fallen behind. Before, we were actually ahead of Alfa Romeo and Haas in terms of on paper performance. However, we've actually fallen behind them, and now we're the second worst car. So a lot of upgrades that we need to do. We need to keep up with some of the teams. We want to be fighting towards the midfield, trying to pick up some of those points so we can get those 25 points throughout the season. And if you look at the standings now, you can see that Lewis Hamilton is 13 points ahead of his teammate Valtteri Bottas. So he's leading it with Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez very close behind Valtteri Bottas. There's only a 3-point difference between second and fourth, and then there's a huge jump back to Lando Norris. So yeah, we want to try and make our way up the field a little bit here in the drivers' championship and the constructors as well. Try and maybe catch up to Ferrari. They're only 26 points ahead of us. Right, our marketing department, what they're doing there. F1 Esports Series wants to invite our team to an event to increase their profile of fans of the sport. Okay, so once again, we're going to be having a little reunion with Jarno Opmeer here for the F1 Esports Series. So we'll agree to that. But let's get straight on to qualifying, and I'll catch you guys there to see how well we can do. Hopefully we can get into Q2 at least. Okay then, guys. So as you can see now, we're getting ready for Q1. I've just finished doing practice, and car felt pretty good with the setup. I'm very happy with how it feels. So I'm hoping that we can at least make it into Q2 and see if we can actually do well in qualifying here. As I said, Q2 is the aim. Q3 would be amazing, but I don't think I'll get into Q3 unless something drastic happens here. Okay, so about to do our first lap. Just hoping for a good quali session here. I know that there's some corners that I'm particularly weak at, as well as the car. Obviously, there's a lot of understeer with this car, so for example, I think it's Luffields, Maggots, Beckett's, and Chapel especially as well, and Cops. Those might be some tricky corners in this car. Let's see what we can do. Taking a wider line so we can carry as much speed as we can to start the lap here. First corner, taking as much curb as we can, completely flat. Second corner, once again, completely flat. Third corner, braking just as the curb starts. Not hitting the apex cleanly there. Down into second for this next corner. Trying to get on the throttle as soon as we can without losing the back end of the car. Sergio Perez is already doing a 24.3. This is ridiculous, the times that the AI can do. Also doing a 24.2. What? Okay, we don't really hit the apex there for Beckett's. Chapel was okay, as we do a mischief, which isn't ideal. Alright, pretty good through still. Just need a final good couple corners here. Try not to lose traction. Get on the throttle as soon as we can. Do a 26.0. Not the quickest, to be honest with you. As a banker, I know there's some time in that. There's some time in that even as a banker lap, so we should definitely be able to improve on our second lap. Okay, so we're in 21st place, which isn't ideal. I'm not going to be as talkative in this lap, just so we can try and get as much time throughout this lap as we possibly can here. Once again, just starting out on the throttle early, trying to make up as much time as we can at the start of the lap. Good run through first corner and the second corner. Hitting the apex a lot better there. Being smoother with the throttle. We're about a 2 tenths up almost. About tenth and a half there, losing a little bit of time. Getting on the throttle a little bit later, but with more speed. Nah, losing quite a bit of time there. A lot better of a run through Cops. See what we can do for Maggots and Beckett's. Maggots and Beckett's was better, however, Chapel, we just washed wide there, carried a bit too much speed. Alright, still try and get on the throttle as early as I can. Hitting the apex is a lot cleaner there. He made up a lot more time. Where does that put us? Just behind our teammate, 2/10 behind our teammate in 19th. Okay, for this next lap, I'm going to be completely silent and just try and get the best lap that I can. Because right now, 19th place is not ideal. Obviously, we're in the second slowest car on the grid on paper. Doesn't necessarily mean that you should be in the positions that you should be. Okay, so I'm going to be the last car on track. So that means that track evolution is in my favor. So if I can get a solid lap here, hopefully that means some extra pace around this track. So I'm going to stay silent and see what we can do here for this final lap in Q1. Oh, 25.5. Let's see where that puts us. I think it's taking a look at the wheel. We stay in P19. Jesus Christ, that was actually a pretty decent lap as well. All right, let's see. Yeah, P19. We ended up being a 10th quicker than our teammate. However, we lost out to both Haas's and both Alfa Romeos. So yeah, a 24.9 was definitely not in the car, clearly, because that was a pretty decent lap. I mean, I kind of messed up the final couple of corners. Maggots and Beckett's to Chapel could have been a little bit cleaner as well, but I definitely don't see us gaining 5/10 from that. So that's all we were able to do in the car. Sadly, it's just not where we want to be. Definitely going to need to focus on the upgrades, because the upgrades are clearly where we're lacking at the moment. But yeah, knocked out in Q1. Sucks to see, but hopefully we can have a decent race here. I know the first season of my team seems to be very difficult this year, so let's hope that we can have a decent race. Okay guys, so as we're sitting on the grid here, as I said, qualifying not the best, knocked out in Q1. Definitely gonna go with the alternate strategy here. I want to make sure that we're quick towards the end, and obviously the alternate strategies are going to be an easy medium to sauce, especially on this game. We're gonna have a little bit less fuel, I think that'll work. 26.8. We're probably not going to have a lot of wheel-to-wheel battling with some of the cars here, especially considering how slow the car is. But hopefully, safety cars might come out. We might have an interesting race here at our home Grand Prix. So let's get straight into it, and let's have a good race. All right, as we've got 3, 4, 5 red lights at our home Grand Prix. And lights out, and away we go. We can see Mazepin. What the hell was he doing there? I'm not sure. But everyone around us is on the soft compound of tires, whereas we're on the mediums, so it's going to be very difficult for us. See, our teammate has had a great start, but we're going to make a dive down the inside of everyone, as we always do. Advantage of the AI, taking things very cautiously on lap 1. Made up a couple of positions here behind Raikkonen now. As long as we can stay with some of these soft tire runners, then it's going to be a big advantage for us. But if we can't, then we are probably going to lose quite a lot of time. Especially considering that most of this track is taken flat out. So yeah, I think we should use some of our ERS here on this first lap, because we've lost a lot of time already. To Raikkonen. Oh no, cops, that was horrible, the understeer. Gonna have to battle through Maggots and Beckett's for Giovinazzi here. Okay, he seems to have backed off relatively easy. But yeah, he's probably gonna have a great run here towards Cox, not Cox, to Stowe. Alright, let's see how we can take this. Not as much understeer here, so maybe we just carried a bit too much speed through Cops, even though it's flat out, you know, slap 1. So the car's a lot heavier than usual. And we've already lost 1.2 seconds to Raikkonen. Giovinazzi, he's looking for the move. Through turn 1, Jesus, what a move. Yeah, I think this first stint is going to be quite painful. They've definitely made my team a lot more difficult in the first season from what I remember in F1 2020, because we did play a bit of my team in F1 2020. Not a lot though, but from what I remember, yeah, it's definitely more difficult this year. Our teammate getting very close to contact with us there. I might just let him through because he is on the soft compounds for now. And there he goes. Yeah, got a lot of unsteer there, so we kind of let Schumacher through. Very similar situation. Are we going 3 wide here? Yeah, thank God they decided to back out, because 3 wide into Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel is an absolute no-go. Don't know what the 2 Haas drivers were thinking there. But as long as I can hold up these 2, it makes a good opportunity for my teammate to get some advantage on them, so I'm going to do my best to hold up the Haas boys here. Alright, we're just outside of the DRS for our teammate. And Mick Schumacher is 2 tenths behind us. As I said, using my ERS so that I can make my teammate go as far as possible before I let them through. Just hold them up as much as I can. He is much of a pain. Trying to be Fernando Alonso against Lewis Hamilton here. I've not really seen much from them, you know, especially as we almost get overtaken through Beckett's. Yeah, that's ridiculous. What a move from Schumacher, taking advantage. And we've got Mazepin as well. Oh my god, that's crazy. Even using the ARS, we wasn't able to really do anything. But as I was saying, the second AI drivers, I was speaking to one of my friends, and he's a lot further into my team career mode than I am because he doesn't make content about it. But yeah, he was saying that, you know, the second drivers, they don't really improve all that much. The results that they get is that even when you get new second drivers, it's just still not that good, to be honest, as we get overtaken here by Nicholas Latifi. We're going to try and get the move back on him here. We do. Okay, in this little DRS train if I can. If I can, then that's going to be very advantageous to me, so I'm going to have to try and use a lot of ERS over these next couple of laps to stick within this DRS train. My teammate, oh, we go super wide here. That's not going to be good for us. Try and get a good run through Laufield's here. Okay, we've made some time back up there. Well, my teammate, it looks like he's roughly about 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds down the road from Mazepin, so that's good for now. And the longer I can stick with the Haas boys, the better it is going to be for me in the long run. Whoa. Not the best run through. I guess Beckett's and Chapel there. It was 7 tenths behind Schumacher. Gonna have to have a good last sector here, and first sector. Because there isn't a DRS zone until after turn 4, I believe. Not entirely sure why they're fighting. It is only lap 6, but either way, trying to fight with Nicholas Latifi now. George Russell! What a move! From George Russell, taking advantage of the fight between them. He wasn't able to get past Mazepin, but he almost did. As you can see, look at the front runners. They're already past Maggots, Beckett's and Chapel. They're long gone. Not going to be surprised if we end up getting lapped here. Oh my god, Lewis Hamilton out of the Grand Prix again. That is the 2nd time in recent races that the championship leader has had to retire. I believe it was at France that he had to retire as well. This is a big deal. for Lewis Hamilton. Valtteri Bottas almost guaranteed now to take over the championship lead.
Green flag.
And potentially Lewis Hamilton might even lose out places to the Red Bull drivers as well, because they weren't far behind Valtteri Bottas. They were only like 2 points, I believe, 2-3 points between Valtteri Bottas and Sergio Perez in 4th place. So Lewis Hamilton not having the best of seasons here. Unlike real life, he's retiring constantly, it seems. Yeah, it definitely looks as if the corner cutting is on regular. I hate that. Very, very inconvenient that the settings constantly change. I don't know why it is. I don't know if, like, if you play a different game mode with different settings, it makes... because I mean, like Grand Prix mode, for example, you've got to reset your settings every time you play. For some reason, they've got it defaulted to regular corner cutting, so that's quite frustrating. And I do Grand Prix driving quite a lot to practice for some league races when I don't have teammates or anyone around me to practice to do another fastest lap as well. But yeah, I've just noticed that there's a humongous train being led by one of the Ferraris up ahead there. Look, Jesus, that was like a 10 car? It looks like a 10 car train. That's madness. I need to use a lot of ERS here. The terrible exit through turn 4. And we get the rotation. If you want to know what setup I am using for this race, guys, make sure to go to my track guide. Make sure to go to my track guides. I will have a link in the top right hand side of the screen, and there you'll be able to find my baseline spreadsheet of setups. At the moment, I'm only got time trial setups, as it's all I've really been working with as of late. However, whenever I do a My Team episode, I will update. I'll update that spreadsheet to make sure that it's got the setup in for you guys. You'll just have to do a little bit of practice with it, see if it works for you. Do some tweaking, definitely, because again, there are time trial setups. But it's doing alright for me here at Silverstone, this setup that I've got. It is quite high wings. A lot higher than it was in F1 2020, I'll tell you that. As for a setup video, don't know when that will come out, but I will eventually get to it. It's just I've not really had the time to be able to fully work on learning how setups work. Okay, it looks like that's the final couple of guys going into the pits who were on the soft tires. As I said, I was practically the only person on the mediums to start this race. Everyone else on the grid was on the soft, so I'm on the lone alternate strategy here. We've got Daniel Ricciardo up on us now. I think the best thing to do is just to let them through at an optimal place, but this is sadly not an optimal place. That's the worst place for him to catch us up. But let him past. Because the more we fight with them, the more we lose time to the guys who are actually racing against, which are the Haas boys. We're going to get DRS here, I think. Yep. Definitely going to get DRS here, which is going to help us in our cause. We don't have the best run through Chapel. Norris behind us as well. Probably best to let him by. He just doesn't get the run, which means we have to go wide. Whoa, Perez, what are you doing there, mate? Alright, as we come up to Stowe, going to be pitting this lap. Let's see how long it takes us. Silverstone has one of the longest pit stops in existence, so this is going to be agonizingly slow. Right on the money. What a pit stop there. That's definitely my best pit stop I've ever done at Silverstone. Jesus Christ. That was on the money. It was a good first stint. We managed to keep up with the guys that were ahead, but look how much time we're losing here. This is horrible.
Look after these tires now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Alright, where are we coming out? Behind Russell. Russell on a hard... What is going on here? Mazepin and Russell both on the hard compounded tires. I mean, thank you very much. I'm not gonna complain about that. It's gonna give us a huge advantage here. As you can see, look at that. It's just so slow through the corners because of those hard tires. And the amount of grip that we have on these softs. We get past Russell here, just sneak through. There we go.
Nice move.
Almost had a Hamilton Max situation there with George Russell. But luckily we're better than them. So we didn't. Alright, this is a good opportunity to use some ERS and get past Mazepin here. He's on the hard tires for some reason. There we go, easy does it. Do we have the pace to catch up to Mick Schumacher though? Four seconds up the road. Don't know if we do. Soft tires does give us a big advantage, but how much of an advantage? Not entirely sure. Yeah, we're not really gaining any headway here on Schumacher. And one thing that I've noticed throughout this career mode is the lack of safety cars. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to go into the career mode settings and actually increase the frequency of safety cars here, because safety cars do make for interesting things in the race. Obviously it gives us a chance to score, you know, points when we otherwise wouldn't have, and beat people we otherwise wouldn't have. It just makes for an overall more entertaining season. So let me know if you're at this point in the video. Let me know in the comment section whether or not you think I should increase the safety car output.
Some information on the Red Bull driver, some information on Latifi. They have an issue with their car, they're going to be slow.
Okay, so there's some information on the Red Bull driver, I'm not sure which one, but Latifi who's behind us is gonna be slow due to some issues. I think the Red Bull, to be honest with you, he's too far away for us to really benefit from, and Latifi's currently behind us, so not really the best information I could have got there from Jeff. As you can see, we're hovering around about the 3-second mark to Schumacher, so I don't really see us being able to pass him here in the next 5 laps. Okay, it looks like me being able to hold up the Haas boys for a little bit has definitely benefited Schwartzman, because Schumacher's been able to make a lot of time up on him, as evident from the fact that he's only about 5/10 behind him. But if we weren't able to hold the two Haas drivers up towards the beginning of the race, then Schumacher would have probably already passed Schwartzman here, which, again, as I said previously, you always want at least one of your drivers to beat the people who are around you. So since I'm not really able to do that right now, at least Schwartzman will be able to. Look at the pace of Valtteri Bottas. He's just getting fastest lap after fastest lap. He's reminding me of Lewis Hamilton right now whenever Lewis Hamilton says that his tires are dead. And speaking of Valtteri Bottas, looking at the track map, he's getting closer and closer to whoever's leading this race. So it's going to be a good fight at the end to see who wins between them. I might have some camera angles of that fight going on if they do end up getting closer over these next couple of laps. I'm also going to have some angles throughout, just checking out some of the fights that happened throughout this race. So I hope that you guys do enjoy that once you see it in the full video. Definitely something I want to keep doing throughout these Grand Prix to make the racing a little bit more entertaining, because obviously right now our car really isn't in a position to be fighting with anyone. So it does make for some boring racing on my part, and probably not the most exciting racing on your part as well. So I'll probably have some of the fights that happen over the course of this race hovering over my commentary as I'm driving myself. So if you do like that aspect of this video, then please let me know in the comment section, and I'll definitely continue that throughout the next My Team episodes, probably just until the car gets to the point where I can start battling with people, and instead of watching other AI fight each other, you can see me just go through the AI. So yeah, I've done all I really can, to be honest, in the car today. It just doesn't have the pace as we come up to the final lap. I actually thought we were going to get lapped over the course of this race, but clearly we didn't. Not as close as I thought either. I thought that the leaders would be right behind me by the time that I finished the race. So it shows that the DRS train that we were in before really did help. We're on the final lap now. The battle between Schumacher and Schwartzman, it looks like Schumacher is going to get the upper hand on that battle though, as he is ahead right now. However, there are still 2 DRS zones to go. You never know, Schwartzman might make the overtake happen. Hopefully he does. My tires are completely gone now. As you can see, we're roughly at about 40%, so yeah, I'm not really going to be able to do anything as Max Verstappen does a fastest lap, and then Valtteri Bottas another fastest lap. Either way, Max Verstappen is the Red Bull who wins the Grand Prix, the Silverstone Grand Prix. So yeah, he's going to be ahead of Lewis Hamilton now in the championship, and so is Valtteri Bottas as well. So that's two drivers ahead of Lewis Hamilton now. He's going to have to pull in a lot of work in order to catch back up, thanks to the DNF at France and now the DNF at Silverstone. We've had a decent race ourselves in terms of what we've been able to do with what we have. The car just isn't quick enough at the moment. That's all it is. We got knocked out in Q1, just didn't have the pace, and then, you know, we tried to do the alternate strategy, but, you know, I guess to do the alternate strategy you need to have the pace to do it, and the car just doesn't have it right now. So yeah, Schumacher, he does end up with the upper hand over Schwartzman, so he's going to finish in P16, P17 to Schwartzman, and then P18 for us.
Alright, race over. Take care of the car on the way in.
Plenty of action here at Silverstone. It was a memorable race, and what an impressive victory. Anthony Davidson, a resounding victory today. What set them apart from the rest?
Well, I think it was clear what the main contributing factor out on the track was today: speed. I know it sounds like an obvious thing to say, Crofty, but fast cars win races, and we saw that today with our winner.
Red Bull are our winners today after showcasing some incredible driving. There's been a huge push from them lately to stay competitive with the other teams, and they're certainly proving themselves.
Okay then guys, so as you can see, Max Verstappen ended up winning the Silverstone GP, followed by Valtteri Bottas and Lando Norris getting another podium in Formula 1. And then we have Ricciardo, Sergio Perez, Yuki Tsunoda, Carlos Sainz, Fernando Alonso, Charles Leclerc and Sebastian Vettel getting the last point for Aston Martin. So Aston Martin, decent home race for them. Obviously Aston Martin being just outside of Silverstone, wanting to have the best race possible. Not a lot of points for the team, but at least they managed to score a point. And then outside of the points, we've got Lance Stroll, Gasly, Ocon, Raikkonen, Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher after the little battle he had with Schwartzman in 17th. And we have ourselves in P18, just didn't really have the pace in order to make the alternate strategy work. And then we have Nikita Mazepin, George Russell and Nicholas Latifi rounding off the finishers, with the former leader of the championship, Lewis Hamilton, being the only retirement in today's GP. So gutting for the Mercedes guys, gutting for Lewis Hamilton to have to retire its home Grand Prix. But let's see what that does for the standings. Now Max Verstappen is leading the championship 4 points ahead of Valtteri Bottas and 10 points ahead of Lewis Hamilton, with Sergio Perez only being 6 points behind him. Ourselves, obviously, we managed to score that point at I believe it was France. It might have been another track, but we managed to get that point, and because of that, we are still ahead of Giovinazzi in the championship, and as a constructor, we are still ahead of Alfa Romeo, thanks to that single point. So that single point that we managed to get a couple of races ago is proving very crucial at the moment in the championship standing. So let's get back to HQ and see if there's anything that we need to get done. Okay, so we've got 3.62 million as a team. I'm not really sure how that's gonna affect us right now. I think we should just continue to save a little bit more money, and then we can make some upgrades to our faculties, as some of the options here are quite expensive. We can upgrade our fabrication for the chassis. That would be pretty good, because it means that we can make more simultaneous upgrades. We could also do that for every other component, to be honest. The simulator, this sort of stuff at the moment, I mean, you guys can let me know in the comments. It just doesn't seem as if we need these things at the moment, the marketing and stuff like that. Maybe actually we could upgrade the sponsor relations as well. That will increase our acclaim by 10% faster, so that's a good shout. Other than that, I think we should really just focus on saving some R&D points for some future upgrades here. So what I'm going to do is finish the video off here. If you did enjoy it, make sure to smash the like button. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to catch some more My Team content, if you fancy that. If not, I do upload tutorials and league racing content as well, so make sure to subscribe if you want to catch those. Also, make sure to stay until the end card if you want to see any more of the My Team stuff. Those will appear at the end card, and I'll catch you guys in my next video.